Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Aside from the fact that the U.S. housing market is about to collapse, I'd say it's generally a good day. Got my morning espresso here with me. Let's get into it. So for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Dean. I am the CEO of Stealth Capital. We are the top performing company in our space. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. These videos are made so that my future children and their children can look back on Pop and Grandpop's life and say, wow, that guy made a bunch of mistakes, but hopefully we can learn a thing or two from them. So today I want to talk about one of the business concepts that the most popular man on the internet talks about, Mr. Andrew Tate. And I think it's a very, very important idea that also we've experienced in building our business. And I think it's something that is a little bit underrepresented in the past 13 years of low interest rates and crazy venture funding from Silicon Valley. And I think it's worth reiterating now as we enter a higher interest rate environment, especially for young entrepreneurs who are interested in building startups or creating new businesses. The idea that Andrew talks about is for any endeavor in the startup space, one should try and do it through a process of experimentation and also with as little capital injection as possible. He talks about how a scientist in a lab doesn't go in and just figure out how to create the new drug or the new solution for whatever disease they're trying to do. What they do is they go in there, they try and mix a bunch of stuff. Out of that, vast majority won't work. And then a few minor things might work. And the things that work might not even be for the specific purpose that they were looking to solve. An example of this is penicillin. It was a mold that was growing on a petri dish, and they noticed that penicillin basically stopped the growth of that mold. And in that process, they realized that, wow, antibiotics are a way to kill germs. Thus emerged antibiotics, which has saved billions of lives globally, and is something that has made modern life significantly better. But it was not something that they immediately kind of got the idea of, and immediately they knew that that was what the purpose was. It was a bunch of experimentation, a lot of mistakes, and they didn't actually even mean to create it in the process, but along the way, in trying different things, like failing rapidly at low cost, they realized that there was something that they had happened upon that was valuable and was something that could be developed into a product that would be useful. Business is very similar in that. Whatever plan you might have, you come up with an idea. Say, I want to be a real estate entrepreneur. I want to be a social media marketing guy. I want to be an online dropshipping guy, a trader. All these ideas are great. The issue is that 99% of the time, it's never going to happen the way that you're initially planning it to be. And you're not even aware of the roadblocks that you're going to encounter and all the mistakes you're about to make. And so the key is figuring out how to allow for those experiments to happen at extremely low cost, at high speed, so that you're not wasting both time nor money, which are the two most valuable resources in business. And in doing so, you can actually develop a track record. And once you have a proven product market fit, you can then go to investors if you really do want to raise money and show them. So Andrew talks about this, and I think it's very interesting because it comes at a time when for the past 13 years, we've seen historically low interest rates. And in a low interest rate environment, what that means is money is super cheap. And when money is super cheap, you see people doing a lot of crazy venture bets and investments that fundamentally have no viability as a profitable business model. And yet they get funded at really, really high valuations. And historically, what they've done is they've exited from one round to another, eventually going public and leaving the public shareholder holding the bag of some stuff that's not worth a lot. And just look at the recent tech IPOs and how they've done on the stock market, and you'll see what I'm saying. And so I think a lot of young folks have this false notion that they will, drop out of some, prestigious school, raise millions of dollars from the top venture capitalists in the world, and then they'll be the Mark Zuckerberg of the future. The probability of you being Mark Zuckerberg is very, very slim. There are some folks that are capable of doing that. The vast majority of folks, more likely than not, if they want to achieve financial freedom, they want to be an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur. And by success, we mean you have created a business vehicle that allows you to generate cash flows and create financial abundance in such a way that you don't necessarily have to have a job. The way to do that, more likely than not, is you're going to focus on a niche. The niche is probably not going to be super sexy, but it's something that is really useful and actually has really good profit margins because it's not sexy, right? If everybody thinks something is really, really sexy, and you'll see this in the trading markets a lot of times, more times than not, the opposite's going to happen, right? So if you see a really, really hot stock, a really hot crypto, everybody wants to buy it. That's probably the worst time ever for you to buy. And so some of the wealthiest people in the world that I've ever met, their business models are actually really, really simple and to the conventional person, extremely boring, right? So one of my really good friends and one of the most successful entrepreneurs that I've gotten to meet, his business is in patents. I don't know another 5-year-old that wakes up and says, hey, I want to be the world's greatest patent founder or patent company founder. And yet it's a really, really great cash flowing business. And it's something that's very, very niche specific, not something that any Joe Schmo on the street can break into. And his domain expertise and his group of experts that have developed this business around him are very, very good at what they do, right? And so to reiterate the 2 points that I think are extremely important for any young entrepreneur or aspiring entrepreneur out there is that, one, startups require a lot of experimentation. You're going to fail, you're going to fail a bunch, but you have to basically allow for that failure with minimal cost, both in terms of time and money. And in that process, you also want to be able to have your business model prove itself out or work with minimal investor money input. And if that doesn't work, it doesn't matter how much investor money you get, because more times than not, money just amplifies whether something works or it doesn't work. If it doesn't work and it has not proven to work, the mere injection of money is just setting that money on fire. And so these points, I think, are very, very valid. It's something that we live and breathe here at Stealth Capital and something that we have experienced personally. And despite the controversial image that Mr. Tate has on the internet, I think he speaks a lot of very interesting points that are worth reiterating. That's it for this video. If you found this very interesting, feel free to like, subscribe, find me on Twitter, and also comment below if you have any specific topics that you'd like us to cover. We have had a bit of success despite a lot of painful experiences this past year. And to come out as one of the top performers, I think, is a combination of obviously luck, hard work, and also just having made a lot of mistakes in our entrepreneurial process so that in going through those mistakes, we improve and get better. So that's it from us. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you on the next one.